You said people make comments about that.
Oh, they always make comments.
I do. Like the black guy, the two black guys that was on Trading Places, Eddie Murphy, the big guy. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you say you got a mansion. Yeah. I'm that man. Yeah. So I don't know how I'm always talking over you.
The Trump White House in 2019. See, Trump revoked the hard pass of reporter Brian Kareem after an altercation he had in the Rose Garden with guests for an event. But the judge ultimately restored his access, ruling that the White House did not provide clear guidance about what would warrant the revocation of the hand pass. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Trump was throwing everybody out.
Mm-hmm. And get smart at him. He got smart at the black lady. What's her name?
Oh, he couldn't stand her. Oh, I forgot her name.
April?
What was her name, y'all?
Was it
the
April?
Black lady that Trump
correspondence.
He couldn't stand her. He got rid of her.
In fact, she was celebrating so many years being one.
Yeah. Let me see. Mikey says, or running as a Dem. Okay, not running as a Dem. Roni says, him dividing the party is a good move to make. 45 win. Unified we stand. Yeah. Especially if you want Donald Trump to win. You want Cornell to stay in the race. If you're a person that wants Donald Trump to win, mm-hmm. you want Cornell to stay in.
But I'm trying to understand what people that are Democratic and they want to still support, mm-hmm. even though they may not be 100% in agreement with Biden, they still don't want Republicans to win. So.
Now, what's this? Michigan hair salon owner will apparently refuse trans clients.
Play what Whoopi is introducing. How the Supreme Court's decision. Uh-huh. Remember the story about the web designer did not want to create a website for this gay couple.
Okay.
And the Supreme Court had a ruling on that, which I guess that person who had that felt that way can do it because that's their business.
Okay.
Apparently this woman, this hair salon lady, mm-hmm. chimes in thinking probably that the Supreme Court ruling allows her as a hairdresser to even say, I don't do transgender's hair. Now What's
the reason for not doing a transgender's hair?
The people I noticed all the comments below. People said they failed to talk about, she said she would do the LGB, but not the rest of it.
I don't understand.
She'll do gay men, gay women. She won't do transgenders. But
why not?
And I don't know why. But go ahead and let Whoopi introduce
I don't understand that. All right. I don't understand that.
That's her. That's that lady, Kim. Right. A lot of people
Recently, the Supreme Court ruled that a Colorado web designer had the right to refuse to design a website for a same-sex wedding that actually wasn't real.
Yeah,
okay. It wasn't.
They made
real.
up the situation.
They made up the situation, and Neil Gorsuch bit. They cited her First Amendment rights. Now, a salon owner in Michigan argues that this gives her the right to refuse to serve transgender clients. First of all,
and this goes into her opinion. So
I don't think any transgender folks are coming to your salon.
Okay. They all went back and forth on that. Maybe the lady in Michigan feels like the Supreme Court ruling on a made up story. It wasn't even a real web design situation that didn't want to do a gay person's website. So you would think, why would the Supreme Court do a ruling on a made up story? I guess they were trying to make a point, even if that hypothetical situation happens, mm-hmm. that person owning that company has the right to say, no, I'm sorry. I'm not in agreement with your lifestyle. They don't even have to give a reason. They can just say.
So you can say that.
This is gray area discrimination.
So
again.
You can say that for black people if you don't want to serve black people?
You know, it's so gray. We've all been so used to that as people of color. No, I've had people say they never done my hair before and say no.
Well,
that's different. I've had salon owners who white persuasion said, I never worked with black hair, so I don't want to mess it up. Let me let Shakina do it, or Tamika. And I'm like, okay, I don't get offended because I want my hair done right. But this is probably saying, as your business owner, you do have some gray area where you can say, I refuse to do business with you for whatever reason. You would think if they feel that way about you, regardless of your sexual preference, your color, or whatever, I don't want them doing anything for me.
No,
because they may spit in my food.
Well, that's
they may do something in my hair.
Yeah.
I don't want, if you don't celebrate me as a black person, as a gay person, whatever, I don't want to do business with you.
I guess I have
mixed feelings.
I don't know.
You can go either way with this. I know.
That's like somebody who's Muslim saying they don't want to serve Christians.
Yeah.
Because if you want to use to say, well, my religious beliefs, a person who's Muslim could say, or a person Christian could say, we don't serve Muslims here. We don't serve anybody who does not believe that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life.
Only Christians can come here.
Only Christians. And that's my spiritual belief. My sector in Christianity believes that. Just like somebody who's a Muslim who could say, not all Muslims think that way, but my sector of Muslim is very strict and we cannot serve people who are not Muslim.
I think Alyssa was trying to get a point out, and Whoopi and them was just very overbearing, because a lot of the comments I was reading, let Alyssa talk. You don't never let Alyssa talk. She didn't even get to finish her point. But I think where she was going with this is that it gets kind of muddy and gray, because depending on the service, if
who's giving the service,
most restaurant people, they want you to come eat.
Right.
I don't care if you Muslim, if you gay, if you whatever. I want you to eat my food. My food is good. Taste my food. I want to make money. But when it comes to something where I have my feelings about it has to be a part of what I'm giving as service, I can't do that. Like, even with a person who has to write up some stories and write up information about you being gay or transgender, they like, I don't agree with the lifestyle. I can't really support you. What would I say? Because I don't agree. So you would have to do all the writing, and I just put it up in color. So it depends on the service and what you offer. That's a touchy one. And I'm really like, oh my God.
Because then you got the argument of people saying, the same people saying, well, these male groups and female groups are unconstitutional.
Yeah.
Why do you have an all-female organization that no man can be in it?
And then,
or can you have a service you don't do women's hair? Not because you can't do it, it's because we don't want women in here.
Yeah, it's a male club
or women having a salon and we don't do male clients. I've seen things up that says no male clients.
And some barbershops.
Is that unconstitutional?
Some barbershops. But they could be, the woman's hair could be cut just like the man's hair. Why can't she come in there and get her hair cut? Can't he refuse women coming in his shop? Or he just let gay women come in his shop? That's real touchy when you start doing that. And that's what they were saying on The View. It's getting to a point where you're like, but it's their private business. They can say, no, I don't do blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. I'm not accepting you. I'm sorry. I don't do cakes for such a... Mama brought up a good point. Churches right now are not under government. So there were ministers that were concerned who are not in agreement with gay marriages.
Okay.
They don't want to be forced to marry someone if they're not in agreement with that. Are they allowed to? Because they're a church. They're non-for-profit. They're not government bound, so they can't say, no, I'm sorry, I don't agree with your lifestyle. That's my faith. That's what I believe in. I can't put you two together in union, so I say no. And I told Mom, I said, think about this. There are Catholics who feel like the priest won't marry you if you're not Catholic. So that's happening now. So this is really an area where it's going to probably get even worse, because people are going to be really up front with, we don't support this group. We support this group. It may go back to the color thing. I don't want to do black people no more, or I don't do Hispanics, or it's just really discriminating when you hear about anything like this. So that's why I wanted to bring it up.
Well, let's see what they say here. Mikey says, going back to Cornell has got integrity that speaks to a lot of folks, and he represents issues that don't get talked about. He's a good man, would be an amazing leader. I think he can win. Okay. Emerald says businesses have a right to refuse service and don't necessarily need to provide a reason.
That's true.
Mikey says, I think we should probably move away from all the discrimination, religion, how you want to love, how you're born. None of that is bothering anyone else. And good point, Roni, because if they don't serve XYZ, that's against my beliefs. Yeah,
it's their private business. They can say no. Remember when Oprah was trying to go to that one boutique, and they didn't because she was black.
So then
they didn't know who she was. And then when they found out who she was, they were like, let Oprah in.
So then if that's the reason, if you don't have to give a reason, why are people giving a reason then?
Whoopi said, how would you know somebody's gay if they're coming to your shop to get their hair done? How would you know
that one is stupid?
That's why she was like, are you kidding me? How do you know that's a transgender coming to your shop to get their hair done? They don't tell you who they sleep with.
Emerald says, I think that many people feel that this agenda is being forced upon them. Not saying people don't have a right to be who they believe they are. Yeah, that's a touchy one, y'all. I think we're going to get more and more of these cases because I just don't know. I don't know when do you say that it's discriminatory, and when do you say that I can't serve you because
no reason. You don't have to tell them a reason. Like what's her name said. I'm sorry. I don't.
You're not going to get a pastor who's going to marry two gay people if he don't believe in it.
Thank you.
And you can go to another church that would do it. There are Christian pastors and churches that would marry gay people.
Yeah.
So why do you have to go to that particular pastor and force him to marry you?
Because I told Mom, I said, what if they're members there? What if they are members at that church?
Why would you be a member?
And they're paying tithes.
But why would you be a member at a church that don't like that?
Some people are there just to cause friction.
I can't hardly even see the name, y'all. Sorry. Come over to Cozy's at home. We love everybody. I am Christian as well, and God loves everyone. All right, Cozy's.
So I think what made that discussion come about is that the Supreme Court ruling said that website owner can say, I'm not doing a website designed for a gay couple. If you
are gay or transgender, you might as well forget it. That Supreme Court, honey,
they're very conservative.
Gonna be ruling over anything that is gay and whatever.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, no.
And they're old school. Some of them are older, so they got.
To me, I just feel like
I don't even know
what does it matter whether a person is gay or straight or whatever. What does that have to do with your hair?
But a lot of people are saying in the replies, go when you're celebrated. Why would you want to try to push that wall down?
Well, that's kind of what Emerald's saying.
To make them accept
people feel like
do my hair.
Kind of what I was saying as far as the transgender and the athletes. Because you're forcing everything. Now people are turned off on it's like, I don't want to,
It's overrated. It's over.
My leg hitting. Go ahead. Oh, this thing. Go ahead.
Like they're going too far. You got to do baby steps. We had to do baby steps as blacks.
Yeah, you can't
we had the civil rights movement. We had to do boycotting. We had to do marches.
And I think the more people
still doing that.
The more people see it, and it becomes more normal to people.
They don't want it to be normal. That's the problem.
Yeah.
DeSantis is fighting that.
Emerald says it's so when people stop drinking in a particular beer just because of who they chose to represent that product. Yeah. They Budweiser. Mikey says that's where I'm at. What does it matter?
Thank you.
Yeah, that is true. Sad, but you're all right on that.
Go where you're celebrating.
I don't know what to do, guys. I don't even know how to answer that because there's certain circumstances where I don't want men.
Yeah.
But if they're transgender men. No, I'm saying if it's a woman's thing or a woman's whatever, we don't want men there.
Because we're dealing with that now with our sororities.
And what about men?
And our fraternities.
Y'all might have clubs or cigar clubs or something, and it's like, you don't want a woman there.
Look.
Or you don't want some dude bringing his girlfriend. It's like, dude,
this is good old boys club.
I
was talking about the good old boys club.
So I don't know.
The good old women's club.
I guess you know what, y'all? We old school. Yeah. It's going away. Yeah. So enjoy the fraternities and the sororities and the women's organizations. They're going away.
They're going to be blended.
It's going to be blended.
Yeah. Even race. I told you, a lot of kids filling out applications, they don't put their color. Yeah. They don't put race. They put other.
And I have no problem.
Not answer.
Because I was in theater heavily back in the day. Mm-hmm. And I used to do plays, and we would do plays at the Irish Heritage Center. Yeah. And we walked in, and I was black, and I walked in. I was the only black person in the whole building. And they had classes, and they had all kinds of stuff. And I didn't go, well, why black people aren't here? It's an Irish American heritage place. And I almost feel like if they're forced, it's like, why are you forcing us to accept everybody? This is for Irish people to come together and talk about our heritage and our family, but everything's so blended. So you can have somebody like me come in and say, well, my mom's Irish.
There you go. That's a part of my culture too.
Obama's darker than me and his mother was white.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's going to become so blended to where you're going to see some black people in the Irish American heritage place.
You know what came to my mind, and I'll say this quickly before you move to the next topic. I thought about those of us who know the Bible and read the Bible as Christians, because I know y'all could be different religions. But as far as Christianity is concerned, the Old Testament, remember when the whole thing with Moses and leading the children of Israel out of Egypt in bondage, and every single day, Moses had to deal with their complaints. Oh, you left us out here to die. Oh, and God had to keep showing. He showed himself. I'm feeding y'all manna from heaven and quails and birds and all. And y'all still complaining. How God allowed the children of Israel 14 days. I may not be right with the actual time frame. 10 days, 14 days. Journey was 40 years.
Yeah, it was supposed to be 40
God
years.
said, this mindset gotta die.
Yeah.
And I really think as we get older, you guys, it's gonna probably be another 40 years. 40 years from now, all of us are gonna be gone.
It's gonna be
different. The newer generation is gonna have a whole new mindset on how they talk about race.
I just care. Only thing
sex,
I care,
everything.
All this other stuff that we get all bent out of shape about, and even though I may have my own conservative views or whatever, my main thing is just treat people good.
Thank you.
I don't care what you are. I don't care if you got pink hair or whatever,
or some
just treat
funny
people
tube coming out, hit the head on the side of you.
Just treat people good.
Just respect. And like God said, love. If He loves everybody, why can't we just try? We differences and still treat them nice.
All that other stuff we can disagree on and argue about and debate, but if we keep that core fundamental, and I just feel like this country's changing. It's a lot. People matter now. They meaner. It's just different. I just wish people love each other.
It's fears. Like I brought up that episode of y'all need to watch Wonder Years. The last episode is when the dad was a little concerned about his neighbor at the time was when they just dressed like women.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, "Son, come on in, son." Drag queen kind of thing. They got to know each other. He helped him write his song for Marvin Gaye, and he shared things on how he can do his entertainment good. It was the fears that they conquered and got to know what was in common, even though the guy was a cross-dresser. Yeah. So it's fears that's keeping us from even helping people.
Well, that's my God's commandment.
Yeah, my mother said God's commandment.
But Mom, I think we get love mixed up with judge. We quick to judge people.
Mikey says, well, like Roni